The 49ers just might win the NFC West. What's up, everyone? Welcome to my instant reaction to the 49ers 26-8 win over the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to talk all about what this means for Brock Purdy, what this means for Clelin, Ferrell, what this means for Robert Saleh, what this means for the 49ers. First, I want to shout out this week's sponsors. Cozy Earth premium pajamas and blankets give the gift of comfort that lasts beyond the holidays. This weekend only, from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday, that's tomorrow. Get 40% off at CozyEarth.com with code Cohn, C-O-H-N. It's the best deal of the year. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Don't forget that 100-night sleep trial and 10-year warranty. And when you buy one of these and get a nice little blanket and you cuddle up, think about me. I want you to see my face when you're cuddling. In addition, this show is brought to you by Cash App. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code SECURE10 in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, or not a friend, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money, that's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. I love saying member FDIC. Promotions provided by Cash App, A Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. I've always wanted to be the guy who says the disclosures really quickly at the end of an ad. Now I am that guy. All right, it's not about me. Let's talk the 49ers. Let's reassess Brock Purdy. Because there's only so much you can take away from the Niners beating the Cleveland Browns. I mean, the Cleveland Browns looked a lot like a 3-9 team today because that's what they are. They have a lot of young talent. They might be good in the future with, a different coach. But wow, they find ways to beat themselves. But you know what? That doesn't matter because Brock Purdy, I'm like his biggest critic, and I've always been so tough on him. He finds ways to beat himself, and he's been doing that for the last couple of seasons. So what I was impressed with Brock was his decision-making because we've questioned it. It almost looked like he'd regressed from a decision-making standpoint. But in this game, going up against that quarterback, that team, in these windy conditions, there was no reason to take risks. Absolutely not. So I didn't think he did. I felt like he didn't have any turnover-worthy plays. I felt like, obviously his passing line wasn't great. I was under 60% completions. He was under 6 yards per pass attempt. His quarterback rating was like 83 something. Not great, but didn't need to have great numbers. It was going to be tough to put up really nice numbers in the wind. So I'm not really going to analyze his throwing much. Did his passes flutter? Yeah, absolutely. But is that because of his toe or his elbow or the wind? Hard to say. So I guess we'll have to see what he looks like as a passer the rest of the season. If he gets any zip on his throws, if he continues floating everything, if he's late, we'll have to see. But today it looked like the best thing he did today was move. His movement was really good, and I think it was smart. For the best thing that Kyle Shanahan did today was call that zone read for Brock Purdy at the 2-yard line. That's a great call from the 2-yard line, especially when you never call that play for your quarterback. That's a walk-in touchdown. He could have called that for Matt Ryan at 45 years old, and he could have scored on that play. So that was a great call. But I think Brock showed his mobility on a lot of plays. He got away from sacks. He made guys miss. He extended plays, and he didn't make any bad decisions. So that's encouraging. During the broadcast, they said that he had been playing with a steel plate in his cleat to protect him. Now he's not anymore. And I wanted to know, when was that? Because I asked a few weeks ago if he was, and he said no. So I really didn't want him to lie to me. And afterward, he said that he wore it against Jacksonville, and he hasn't worn it since. That makes sense because he was freaking awful against Jacksonville, and I guess he felt like that was a contributing factor. He was good against the Cardinals. He had some turnover-worthy plays. He was not good against the Carolina Panthers, but neither was Matthew Stafford today. So that makes Brock Purdy's performance look less embarrassing. I thought it was freaking embarrassing last week. But I haven't even seen what Matt Stafford did. I was over here. It would have been nice if I could have seen that game. Was Matt Stafford just making bad decisions? I'd love to know. But I thought at halftime, Purdy had been outplayed by Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur made that nice touchdown pass to Harold Fannin. Brock had George Kittle. Forget Harold Fannin. He had George Kittle wide open deep, underthrew him, and wasn't a touchdown. Uh, then as the game went on, he was clearly better than Shedeur Sanders. Although, don't write off Shedeur just yet. I mean, if you watch this game, he had no one to throw the ball to who could get separation. Their whole passing game was screens or play action, something schemed up, but no one could actually win. And I still thought he was like, well, he was pretty awful. He can't check the ball. You got to check the ball down. Like, where are you running? Why are you holding the ball for 8 seconds? So Brock was better than Shedeur Sanders. He might be a backup. He's not going to hold on to that job. He's going to bounce around the league. I don't know if he'll ever be any good. I think he would have been a good backup on the Niners, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Brock Purdy. And I feel like at least it was a confidence booster for him. It's a confidence booster for the team. I think him dancing after the touchdown run, it sort of signifies how much he has to prove. He's so happy to score a touchdown, do something positive because last week was so bad. Not only did he throw the 3 picks, he just didn't have many good plays. But this time, he's celebrating. The team was celebrating. They're all talking about his dance. It seems like for this team to be confident and feel like they can go as far as they can go, they need to believe in him. They think he's special. He hasn't played special in a long time. He was not special in this game, but he was good. And he played with confidence, played like a guy who's not regressing. He was playing against a really good defense. Like the Browns aren't good, but their defense is. So I feel like if Brock can play like this the rest of the way, I mean, people will still talk about his contract, but people probably won't talk about should he be playing over Mac Jones. Because I'm not sure Mac Jones would have played any better than Brock did in this game. Brock was really good. And his mobility was a factor. I think Mac might have gotten, I wouldn't say Mac would have gotten sacked more because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. But they haven't, like, Brock hasn't lost a game yet that Mac would have won. I'm not sure he won a game yet that Mac would have lost, but he just has to hold serve. And you can't, losing this game would have been embarrassing. Didn't even come close. Now, Brock should thank Kevin Stefanski, dude. What are you doing asking your rookie tight end to do a quarterback sneak? That was dumb. And they were rushing to get the ball snap. It was dumb. I think he needs to get fired, Kevin Stefanski. But yeah, do I owe Brock Purdy an apology because I was so tough on him last week? No. Why do you think Brock Purdy played so much better this week? Why do you think he didn't throw the ball to the Browns this week? Because of quality control. I played my position so that Brock could improve. I sacrificed myself. I made myself look like an idiot, but I did it for the team. You want to talk about 4D chess? That's what it looks like. Me coaching and motivating Brock Purdy. You're welcome, Brock and Kyle, because you weren't getting it done. I had to step up and start talking crazy. But you know what? Brock's not out of the woods yet. He's going to have to keep this up. It was the Browns, and he got a big excuse. I mean, what were his numbers? Let's look it up. 16 of 29 for 168 yards, a touchdown, and an 83.7 quarterback rating. That's not good. But it was windy, and it was the Browns, and he won, and he didn't have to do anything. Great. Love that. Do what you got to do to win that week. But playing like this probably won't be enough to beat an actual playoff team. Probably. I don't know. Because playoff teams were losing today. You got freaking Rams lost to the Panthers. I don't know. But it seemed like this was a performance that was good enough to beat this team. And that's great. So let's see if he can. I mean, this performance would be good enough to beat the Titans in a couple of weeks. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on the league. What did the Colts do today? Indy, where are you? Looks like they lost to Houston. And their quarterback's playing through like a fractured fibia, something like that. Niners might win that game. The Niners might win out. Rams lost. Colts lost. Are the Bears? That's a tough one. Is that the toughest game left on the Niners schedule? I mean, if George Kittle keeps playing like this, who can't? The thing about George Kittle, like the whole offense goes through Christian McCaffrey, but Jim Schwartz shut him down today. Christian McCaffrey isn't what he used to be. Still a good player, but he's not what he used to be. And a good defense that makes it their business to shut him down can, as we saw today. What did Christian McCaffrey do today? Whole lot of nothing. 20 carries for 53 yards. Now, Brian Robinson didn't do any better. He also had 4 catches for 21 yards. Shut down. Haven't seen that in a while. But you know who you really can't shut down? George Kittle. He's probably the biggest mismatch in the league, even at, what is he, 32? He looks like he's 27 still. He hasn't declined at all. I think it was 2 years ago I said the Niners should trade him. Thank goodness they only listen to me sometimes. Not all the time, because I was wrong. He's clutch. Every time the Niners are losing, every time they need a play, they go to him and he comes through. At the end of the first half, he caught that deep pass. He caught that other one at the 4-yard line. I mean, he's a hell of a player. And he makes any quarterback look a lot better than they are. He made Jimmy Garoppolo feel like a starting quarterback. I saw a lot of Purdy fans say that the Rams should have benched Matthew Stafford today and played Jimmy Garoppolo. That's funny. I understand why Purdy fans say that because they're so emotionally tied into his career arc. So good. Hey, take your victory lap. I love it. I just feel like get back to me when Matthew Stafford has 9 touchdowns and 7 picks in a season, because that's what Brock has. And as well as he played today, his quarterback rating went down. So still has a lot to prove. And am I the only one that's kind of concerned about that thing he has on his arm? So you saw it. I mean, forget the toe for a minute. We don't know what the extent of that injury is right now. We'll see when it's not so cold and windy. But it's a cold game, and Brock has this like bionic arm on the sideline. He's got this arm warmer. After the game, I was like, is that something you're going to use the rest of your career when it's cold? And he was like, yeah, I really like the way it makes me feel. Is that concerning to anyone else? I mean, I don't want to be an alarmist here, but that injury was years ago. I believe they said on the broadcast that the elbow actually was going to be more of a factor in this game, given the cold, than the toe. He said that the toe, he doesn't think about it during games, but he feels it the day after. Okay. Well, seems like he was thinking about the elbow because he wears this contraption. And look, I mean, if he can play like this and win games, and I guess it doesn't really matter if his elbow hurts or what he has to wear in the cold, but isn't it kind of concerning that they signed this guy and they know that he has to manage past injuries when it's cold? I'm just saying. I'm not saying they should have traded Brock Purdy in the offseason, but like signing him that extension could go down as one of the worst moves in franchise history. And the jury's still out on that one. I mean, Brock, that contract is worse than Brandon Aiyuk's. And Brock's playing and winning. So we'll see what happens. Let's talk about Clelin Ferrell. I think this is so interesting. The Niners lost Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and I felt like they went into like a little mini depression for a minute. It's like, oh, what's the point? Why should we even make a trade? We're not going anywhere. Like, if you really know ball, you know that we're cooked. It just seems so like, woe is me, depressed. And then, I don't know, maybe it wasn't the coach's decision. I'm guessing that Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan wanted another player. Maybe Jed and Parag said, nah, not in the budget. Sorry. Work it out. So instead of trading for Bradley Chubb or Jermaine Johnson or Jalen Phillips, they signed Clelin Ferrell off of some team's practice squad. They could have had Clelin Ferrell at any point this year. Out of sheer desperation, they signed Clelin Ferrell, who'd been on the team before. And I don't know where this is going to go for Clelin. He's been in the league a while. There's a reason he was on a practice squad, and the Niners didn't want him until they absolutely had to get someone. But he has 4 sacks in 4 games. If the Niners had traded their 3rd-round pick or even their 2nd-round pick for Jalen Phillips or Jermaine Johnson, and they had 4 sacks in 4 games, people would be making 10,000-word think pieces 2-hour live streams about what a genius trade that was and how it was worth. I mean, if they had traded a 3rd-round pick for Clelin Ferrell, which obviously would be dumb because he was on a practice squad, but if somehow they had to do that and he came here and gave you 4 sacks, and not only 4 sacks, today he had 9 tackles. He's everywhere. He's good against the run. He's good against the pass. He's literally playing better than Bryce Huff, who is a nothing against the run and is a good pass rusher, but not producing like Clelin Ferrell right now. If the Niners had traded for a player who put up the exact same numbers and was doing the exact same things as Clelin Ferrell, you'd be like, damn, man, should John Lynch be the executive of the year? Was that the best trade of the year? But no, they just got this guy for nothing. So I think that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh really do deserve a lot of credit for their ability to, I mean, the next man up stuff this year. They're 9-4. Granted, they have a really easy schedule, and we can't forget that. We all talked about it all year. This is why I thought they should do something at the trade deadline. Like, what are you waiting for? Why do you think 2026 is a better year than 2025? You're winning now. Kittle's great now. So they didn't do anything. Maybe they weren't allowed to. Maybe they didn't want to. They bring in Clelin Ferrell. I'm sure they didn't think he would do this, and he's doing it. After the game, someone asked him if he's peaking in his career. He's like, I asked me after the season. Clearly he is. Where would they be right now if it wasn't for Clelin Ferrell? Would they have won this game without him? Maybe. Maybe. But he's their best defensive lineman right now? Is he going to be on the team next year? Should they give him an extension right now? Like, so you lose Bosa, you trade for no one, you sign Clelin Ferrell, he's incredible. He's been around forever. Now he plays well. You lose Fred Warner, you get Tatum Bethune, he's a good player. He goes down. You bring in Curtis Robinson, you're on your 3rd string middle linebacker. Defense gives up 8 points. That's really impressive. I know we're all mostly focused on Brock and the offense and what it means and Matthew Stafford and his interceptions and narratives and all that stuff, because that's a lot of fun. But 8 points? Now, I know they faced a terrible, terrible offense, but the Niners, I thought their defense was I thought it was awful. When they gave up 42 to the Rams, it looked like the Niners weren't going to be able to stop anyone the rest of the year. Guess not. And once again, Robert Saleh is looking like a guy who could be one of the top coaching candidates around the league this year. And here's what I predict with Robert Saleh, because games like this are going to get him another head coaching job. I actually think the fact that Fred Warner and Nick Bosa went down, I don't want to say it was good for Robert Saleh because that's in poor taste, but it actually made, because if he had a good defense, people could say, well, you have Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. A lot of people have had good defenses with these guys. Now those guys leave, and you can do stuff like this with, who's your best player on defense right now? Clelin Ferrell? Clelin Ferrell is your best player on defense right now. You can do that. Yeah, man, you're definitely one of the best defensive coaches in the league. And some organizations still like defensive coaches. Some want offensive coaches, and he won't be a factor there. Like, he would have been a better coach for this team than Kevin Stefanski. He wanted to coach this team, but they hired Stefanski. That was probably a mistake. Here's what I think is going to happen with Robert Saleh. Last week, Josina Anderson reported that a longtime NFL coach is considering a change of scenery. I wondered if that coach is Kyle Shanahan. I don't believe it is. I think it's a coach who's been in the NFL a lot longer than Kyle. I think the coach that she's talking about, and I think it's like the worst kept secret in football, is Mike Tomlin. He's been coaching the Steelers for like, what? More than 20 years, something like 20 years. And, you know, they're going to be searching for another quarterback this upcoming year. Maybe it's time for him to leave and go coach a team that has a quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Giants. They have Jackson Dart. They had an offensive coach. Usually teams oscillate back and forth. The offensive coach didn't work. Fire him. Get a defensive coach. So I could see Mike Tomlin getting that job. Mike Tomlin would probably be if Mike Tomlin and Robert Saleh both applied for that job, I think they would go to Tomlin. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been highly successful head coach, and Robert Saleh wasn't, although he had every excuse. It's the freaking Jets. So let's say Tomlin goes to the Giants. Well, then what happens to Robert Saleh? What happens to the Steelers? I'm guessing that once Tomlin leaves, if Tomlin leaves, that they'll replace him, the Steelers, with Robert Saleh. I think he'd be a perfect coach for them. They always have defensive coaches. Chuck Noll, defensive coach. What was the dude's name after him? Cowher. Bill Cowher, defensive coach. Robert Saleh, Mike Tomlin, defensive coach. It's a great spot for Saleh too because they never fire their coaches. You get to work there for life if you want to, or for 20 years. That's my best prediction. Let's see if it happens. But all the more reason for the Niners to win the Super Bowl this year if they can. Because next year, tougher schedule, probably no Robert Saleh. You might get Nick Bosa and Fred Warner back for week 1. Who knows when they'll come back, but there is something special about this team. Freaking Clelin Ferrell playing like way better than Nick Bosa ever did. Clelin, when was the last time Nick Bosa had 4 sacks in 4 games? 2023? 2? You know, Clelin Ferrell was drafted 2 picks after Nick Bosa. Did you know that? That's a little Clelin Ferrell trivia. It went Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Clelin Ferrell. And right now, it's looking like Clelin Ferrell is the best one. Maybe he should have been the number 1 pick in the draft. I think it'd be really cool if he like blossomed into a superstar randomly 6 years into his career. Why not? Let's take some super chats. Too Much Sauce says Sky Moore a free agent in 2026. What do we do? $30 million a year? 35? You give the guarantees that you took from Brandon Aiyuk, give it to Sky. Give it to Sky. MM Forever says Niners could have won by 300. You'd still complain. Did I complain? I don't think I complained. It's my job to analyze. But why would I complain? I don't root for this team. If they make the playoffs, you know what I make? More money. So that's good, man. I'm always pro money. Richard Evangelista says, are the Niners still a dark horse? Probably not with 9 wins. Grant, you got to take back all trash talk after this W. Nah, man, I don't got to take back nothing. Steve Lewis says, Kyle Shanahan really not going to let Kendrick get his 18 yards? Isn't that fucked up? Give him his 18 yards. It's messed up. I hope they did throw it to him. He almost caught it. I thought he was in bounds. Ball flirted a little bit. He caught it. I thought he got 2 feet in bounds. Richard says the cold was bothering his elbow. We could only imagine how his toe felt. Did you know that I have a herniated lumbar? When I was 25, I was doing deadlifts, probably poorly, and a little bit of like the lining came through my back, and I have this big lump in my back, and it's been there for like 12 years. And I got really into running this year, and I just I'm in so much pain all the time because I have this lump in my back. It's a hernia in my back. It's great. It's attractive, and it affects me every step I take, every breath I take. Other than that, though, no one really cares. Do you ever notice that if you're not a professional athlete, no one cares about your injuries? It's okay. I care. SB2 Bling says, Kyle lying, not knowing about the steel plate. I asked about that, right? I was like, is that true? Did you know about it? He's like, yeah, those are things I don't talk about with Brock. I love how Kyle seems to have like no urge to like tell the truth. He's just like, I'll just say whatever. Okay, sure. Why not? Jameer says, want to bench Stafford after he gave the ball up 3 times? Yeah, let's bench Stafford, man. Purdy fans are so touchy. Like, if you say that, hey, we should pull Purdy from this game, it's like, well, then every quarterback who throws 3 picks should get pulled. Okay, the point is that the Niners would have beaten the Panthers with Mac Jones. So would the Rams have beaten the Panthers with Jimmy Garoppolo? Probably not, because he sucks. So, yeah, you kind of got to roll with Matthew Stafford no matter how he's playing if he's having a bad day. It's not like you actually go to Jimmy Garoppolo, but Mac Jones is a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And Brock Purdy's a lot worse than Matthew Stafford. So when Brock starts throwing the game away, yeah, I would consider pulling him. But if it makes you feel good to make fun of Matthew Stafford when he's having an MVP caliber season, then go for it. Today's your day. Bill Kennedy says you laughed off playoff home game. What now? Still went out. Could happen. They could definitely win out. Spotted Striper says very few illegal shift, illegal formation flags this year compared to previous years. Good job, Kyle. Did you notice that Kyle Juszczyk had a clear false start they didn't call? I did. Hope he's okay. Maybe it's John Harbaugh and not Tomlin, says Keith and Bernie. Hey, if it's John Harbaugh, then Saleh could go to the Ravens. Either team would be perfect for him. But I think it's Tomlin. Terrell Thomas says, is there still a chance for Max Crosby in 2026? I don't think so. I don't. Hold on. Okay. I want to talk about Brandon Aiyuk one more time, then I'm done. Because I keep gathering more information. And here's what I want to say. They voided his guarantees in July. I get the feeling the Niners have been out on Aiyuk way before then. I remember I'm the one that caught Shortskate. That was me. That's one of my best scoops ever. It was early in last season. It was on a Friday. Aiyuk wore the wrong shorts to practice on purpose, and Kyle admonished him. That was a glimpse into what was happening behind closed doors. From what I understand, Brandon was doing all kind of stuff like that. Routinely. Little things that are against the rules. Like he's special. And I think what happened was, and I don't know exactly what they were, but I can imagine little things that no one else does, like in meetings, at my practice, little rules, he kept breaking them, knowing that they're rules he has to adhere to that he adhered to in the past. And I think what happened was the Niners sort of created the situation in the sense that he started acting like this in 2024 before he got, after the Super Bowl, before he got paid. He skipped training camp. He started acting out, breaking rules, doing things that he hadn't done in the past and that no team captain, really no 49ers supposed to do. So what the Niners do about it? They rewarded him. Right? I mean, at first it seemed like they were done with him and they felt he was immature and they didn't like the things he was saying and the way he was approaching the negotiation. But then the last minute, what did Brandon do? He came around. He dropped his demands. He was all of a sudden, he met him and he compromised. And then what did he say after he signed the extension? Yeah, I made that harder than it needed to be. So it seems like there's a little bit of a roller coaster ride with Brandon. He breaks rules. He acts out. The team tells him stop. And then at a certain point, he apologizes and tries to walk it back. Because I don't think he's a bad guy. He just might be a little immature. And he's a wide receiver. And the Niners kind of reinforced this behavior. Let's be honest. They kind of reinforced this behavior. He said he did all this stuff in 2024, but he was so good, they didn't care. They gave him the money. They overlooked it. But I think they felt that he would stop doing that stuff, but he only continued. And I guess it culminated with him blowing off scheduled rehabs this offseason. But again, this was stuff that little things that he was doing to separate himself from the team for a long time. So I think what my assumption all week was that this is like a Parag thing. This was a Jed thing. I think it's a whole organization thing now. Yeah, they want him. He's a good player, but they need him to act professionally. And I think that Kyle Shanahan was his biggest advocate in the organization. And I think when Kyle had to admonish him about shorts, I think Kyle's been out for a while. And once he lost Kyle's support, he lost support. So I think what happened was he did what he did this year, we did last year, blew stuff off in the offseason, like he's special. The Niners feel a lot differently about him now than they did in 2024. They punished him. Brandon probably thought they were joking or it was negotiable. They threatened punishments last year, right? He missed all the training camp, supposed to get fined $50,000 a day. I'm sure they made it up to him because he's so special. But this year, they didn't. So they take away his guarantees, and what does he do? He shows back up. He plays nice. He's in the meetings. He's coaching the wide receivers, just like he did last year before it was time to sign the extension. Hey guys, I know I've been a jerk. Sorry, I'm back. I was kidding. Let's work this out. I think he tried to do it again. Hey, you guys are mad at me? All right, well, let me do what I did last time to get out of this. Sorry, didn't mean it. Sorry, you guys are so upset. I'm here. And this time the Niners were like, nah, man, we're really over you. We don't want you anymore. And so when he finally realized he wasn't going to get his guarantees back, that's when he dipped for good. So Brandon is really culpable here. That being said, the Niners created the situation, and no matter how justified they feel, if he leaves, makes a full recovery, and plays well on his next team, then the Niners look stupid because they got nothing for him. They could have traded him last year and got something. They could have bent over backwards to make, because it's like, with wide receivers who are really good, sometimes you got to let them wear the wrong shorts or break a rule here and there because good wide receivers are divas most of the time, and you want good wide receivers. So you have to deal with it a little bit. The Niners either felt that he was more than a little bit of a diva, or his play no longer warranted the effort of keeping him happy. See if they're right. We'll see if they're right. I don't know. It just seemed to me that they knew who Brandon was. I mean, why did Kyle put him in the doghouse his second year? Because of stuff like this. You knew who he was. You gave him the extension thinking that he would grow up or mature with more money. No, he's just going to be more of the way he was. And now it blew up in your face, and it's his fault. Sure, could be. Let's talk playoff picture. The Niners are 9-4, tied for the most wins in the NFC, but they have 4 losses, so haven't had a bye week yet. And that means they're the 7 seed in the NFC. Here is the seeding. Get that for you real quick. 1 is Chicago. 2 is the Rams. They lost today. 3 is Philly. They're reeling. 4 is Tampa. They beat the Niners, but they're 7-5. 5 is Seattle, at least as of now. 6 is Green Bay. 7 is the Niners. Then you got Detroit and Dallas after them. So it's possible that they could win the NFC West. They get to face the Rams and Seahawks again. Neither team seems unbeatable. The Niners are hot. They have George Kittle. He's healthy. They have Christian McCaffrey. He's healthy. Their wide receiver, at least Jawan Jennings is okay. Seems healthier. He's not dropping passes left and right. The Niners might end up getting a home playoff game. I would like that, just from a selfish perspective. But it seems like they absolutely could run the table. If Brock Purdy just plays smart, doesn't turn the ball over, do they need him to be a prolific playmaker the rest of the year? Not against Tennessee, just don't mess up. Indianapolis seems like they're reeling, just don't mess up. Then the last 2 games against the Bears and the Rams, the Bears are good, but Caleb Williams isn't. Ben Johnson is good. Their running game is good. Their defense has been playing well. Brock Purdy can outplay Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams plays like bad Brock all the time and has no excuse for it. Bad Brock is indecisive, hold the ball long time Brock. That's Caleb every down. And then you got the Rams, who just lost to the Panthers, who the Niners just beat. So, which team? And they've already, not the Rams, the Seahawks. I'm stupid. Then they got the Seahawks. Are the Seahawks going to beat the Niners twice this year? They're beating the Vikings, but they're facing their 3rd-string quarterback. The Vikings are dead. The Niners all of a sudden have life. So, team is interesting, man. And look, they got Clelin Ferrell. He's been a great addition. They got Curtis. They've had guys step up. They didn't have to make trades, but still, they should have made a trade. I'm sorry. Only way they can justify not making a trade is winning the Super Bowl. Because the further they go, the more it underscores the fact that they were contenders. And I know I've called them pretenders multiple times. It's just that every week it shows that there is no true favorite in the NFL this year. There is no favorite in the NFL. It's not the Rams. It's not the Eagles. It's not the Chiefs. Is it the Patriot? Like, it doesn't exist. It's just going to be the team that gets hot at the end. And guess who's hot right now? The Niners. If the trade deadline were in 2 weeks instead of a month ago, think the Niners would make a trade now? Now that you see Brock back and you've won 3 in a row and you realize that your defense didn't fall apart without Bosa and Warren, you think they make a trade now? I bet they would. I feel like they just got depressed midseason and gave up on themselves a little bit. I don't know who made that decision, but it was silly because it doesn't matter how good the Niners are. It just matters how good, like relative to what they could have been healthy or what they were 2 years ago. All that matters is how they stack up against the rest of the league. And I just don't see a team they can't beat. They could lose to a lot of teams too. I mean, they could lose to Detroit, Dallas. They could lose to any team they face they could lose to, I'm not going to lose to Tennessee. Only way they lose to Tennessee is if Brock Purdy throws 4 picks. And even then they could win. But they could beat Chicago, absolutely. They could run the table. I just don't think they can win the Super Bowl. But maybe they can. I don't know. Maybe Robert Saleh and Clelin Ferrell are going to be proving me wrong. Okay, stock up. Which player's stock rose the most in this game? Clearly, Clelin Ferrell tops the list. What a great story. What a great performance. He has been their Nick Bosa the last month. Let's see if he can keep it going. Also, I thought Malik Mustafa was really good in this game. I mean, the Niners front seven is decimated, and they were going against a really good running back in Quinshon Judkins, who was getting past the first level a lot. And it seemed like Mustafa, even if he was lined up 10, 11, 12 yards off the ball at the snap, he was triggering so quickly and tackling Judkins after a gain of 3 or 4. He's a really, really good Mustafa, really good run defender. Upton Stout is a really good run defender. This defense isn't bad. I mean, it's not great, but it finds a way. So Upton Stout, Sky Moore, the punt returner, holy, he's gotten so good that teams really shouldn't even mess around. I mean, didn't it feel like a month ago that teams were kicking it to him on purpose on kickoffs because they didn't want to kick it to Brian Robinson Jr.? Now it's like you can't let Sky Moore get an opportunity because he'll win the game. I mean, he was the one that set the Niners up at the 1-yard line on their first possession against Arizona 2 weeks ago, and then he did it again this one, set them up in Browns territory on their first possession. So it was funny. For the first couple of months of the season, the MVP was a special teamer. It was Eddie Pinheiro. Now it's Sky Moore. I mean, he's as important and playing as well as anyone on the team not named George Kittle right now. George Kittle stock, is it fair to say that he's a riser? His stock went up. I mean, hard for it to go up much more than it is. He's already a 99 in Madden, I would think. Today just reinforced it. And the thing that I love about George as a player, he's not just good. He's freaking clutch. Whenever it's not like to win the game. It's like to not lose it. Hey, the Browns took the lead before halftime. Why don't we throw the ball to George down the field? Something good will happen. Yep. If only other teams had a tight end like that. The way he's playing, they could have him for a few more years. Did Brock Purdy's stock go up today? Yeah, I would say it did. I mean, it went down big time. I felt like last week was one of the worst games he's ever played, if not the worst. Jacksonville was pretty bad too. So he's had some stinkeroos this season. So yeah, his stock went up. Anyone else? Juwan, a little bit. Caught a touchdown pass. Okay, those are my risers for week 13. Now to the fallers. Whose stock went down in an 18-point win over the Browns? Let's start with Christian McCaffrey. Now he's facing a really good defense. Still, 2.7 yards per carry. Let me get that exactly correct. I don't want to shortchange him if it was 2.8. Was it 2 point? No, it was 2.7. 2.7 yards per carry, had a touchdown. I also felt he had a run in the red zone where Brock Purdy tossed it to him. He was running to the left. He cut back inside and got stopped at the 2. If he had just kept running to the outside, he would have scored. It was blocked well. Maybe he feels he doesn't have that burst anymore. I just think it's interesting. He's had a really good year in the sense that they give him the ball a lot and he keeps getting up at the end of the play. But the Browns shut him down because he's not unstoppable like he used to be. He's stoppable. He's touchable, attainable. Unlike Kittle, who's pretty much, you just hope that Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy forget about him, which they do. So Christian McCaffrey, rough game. He could bounce back in a couple of weeks. Give him some grace too. Short week on the road. They give him the ball way too much. He was probably exhausted. There's a reason he didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday. Probably exhausted. And they didn't have to overuse him in this game. I thought that was good for Kyle Shanahan. Everyone thought they were going to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey 35 times, and he made a point not to do that. Like, he had Brock Purdy throw on the first 5 plays of the game. Didn't work out, but at least he didn't overuse Christian today. Although 20 carries for Christian to get 54 yards, that's terrible. They got to get another running back next year. You think they'll get another running? They got to get another. They need another running back. They need another wide receiver. I like their tight ends. They need another left guard. Ben Barch left the game. Foot injury. The guy can't stay healthy for more than a month at a time starting. There's a reason he should not be starting. He's a solid player, but offensive lines need continuity. And if Ben Barch is in your offensive line, you don't got that. So his stock went down. Who else? Whoever let Harold Fannin get by because he was wide open. No one covered him. I feel like not that many players' stock went down today. Other than Christian. Sorry, Christian. Ooh, Trent Williams. Nah, he was going up against Myles Garrett, but he also had like a false start. He was not good today. Still better than Colton Kivitz, but I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, is he going to play next year, Trent Williams? All the more reason for the Niners to win the Super Bowl this year, because he is declining in ways that George Kittle is not. Matt Gay, he doinked it, but he made it. They only need. Are they done with the Matt Gay experience? They might be done with the Matt Gay experience because the bye week's coming up. Eddie could come back after that, man, and he didn't miss a kick. Shout out to Matt Gay. Your stock didn't fall. You should be in the risers, but I'm putting you into fallers just to shout you out. And then to go back to the risers real quick, Kyle Shanahan. I love that play call on the 2, the zone read for Brock Purdy. That was one of his best play calls of the year, and I think that should be something that he does more often around the goal line because you have to count for it. Really, any quarterback can run those in. Kirk Cousins. He used to call those plays for Kirk Cousins. To call him for Brock. Call him for Mac. Those are free touchdowns. And just handing the ball to Christian McCaffrey 4 times doesn't necessarily get you across the line. So I liked that from Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. Okay. Let's do some super chats. Richard Evangelista says, you need to get that looked at before the age of 40. Think so? The hernia? Yeah. I feel like I'm starting to break down. I've been operating with it for 12 years, pain-free, but it's starting to get me. Patrick says, hi, Grant, fan from Sweden. Hi, fan from Sweden. I'm Grant. Nice to meet you. Richard Evangelista says, BA is the new TO without the TO resume. No, you guys don't remember TO. Aiyuk is more like quiet, doesn't really say why he's upset, maybe a little immature because he's, not communicating and expressing his first. T.O. didn't have a problem talking. T.O. would come out after the game at the freaking post-game press conference and talk about how Jeff Garcia sucked and how he didn't get him the ball enough and how the coach sucked. It's like, Aiyuk might sulk. And I'm not saying that's okay, but T.O. was aggressive in ways that Aiyuk is not. I'm just saying. Kevin says, Brown's Shelby Harris said he sees why Jennings was hit below the belt. I'm paraphrasing. Oh, did he? Interesting. He does seem to really piss off everyone. So I guess Keith and Bernie, the unbeaten, says Niners beat Seahawks already, 4-1 the division. That's true. Did I say they didn't? I'm stupid. B&A established 1988. Me too. I was also established 1988. Says, what did Jawan Jennings say to Shelby Harris? How did I miss this? I don't know, man. How did I miss this? Matt Lopez, new member. Thank you. Check out 3-man front, 3 deep, me, Coach Jesse on Wednesdays, members only. Luke Gifford should be benched. He can't cover. Yeah, man. But then who else do they have at linebacker? Nick Martin went out with a concussion. Curtis Robinson was hurt for a minute. Vroomish says, Dis, you already cover Matt Stafford's 3 turnover performance and loss against the Rams. Stock down? Yeah, I would have to say his stock went down today. And I'm pretty sure they're going to bench him for Jimmy Garoppolo. Hold on. I just want to say, Brock Purdy fans really are having a good time with this. And I understand. Let's check out Matthew Stafford's stats for the season just to see how it stacks up. I just kind of want to know. He had a bad game, right? So one bad game. What did he have? So he's got, I just want to know. So he threw 2 touchdowns and 2 picks today. And his quarterback rate was 85. Not good. On the season, he has now thrown 32 touchdown passes and 4 picks. That's pretty good. I could see why the Rams didn't bench him or pull him in this particular game, although who knows? I might have, because I'm tough. Let's just see what Purdy has for the season. He has 9 touchdowns and 7 picks in 5 games. That's not bad. I mean, it's not great or good, but it's not horrendous. It's borderline. So I can see why people were talking about maybe benching him, especially when his back goes 5-3 with a much better touchdown interception ratio. Like if Matthew Stafford had god awful numbers this year and Jimmy had played a bunch and put up better numbers, there'd be a discussion. Because that's sort of what's happening here. But Brock was not god awful today. In fact, he was pretty good. Big Tone says probably Brock's career high for throws aways good. That's a great call. He threw the ball away a lot. You know who didn't do that? Shedeur Sanders. Look, my heart goes out to Shedeur. You know what I mean? You didn't play much with starters, and you don't have anyone to throw the ball to other than Harold Fannin Jr. and your running back. Not easy. And I don't even know how many plays are actually installed for you. But dude, you gotta throw the ball away or check it down. You can't hold it that long. You can't float backwards. Dude, do you even know where your checkdowns are? That's why I feel like Brock Purdy's better than Shedeur Sanders. But he's a rookie. Aaron Lofton says, we talk about CMC being healthy, but how about Trent? I imagine he's not healthy. Bill Kennedy says, Walsh would trade Kittle. Thoughts? Here are my thoughts. Again, I never met Bill Walsh, and his whole era was before. I mean, I was born in 88. He was out in 89. So I don't remember. But he talked a big game about getting rid of a player a year early as opposed to a year too late. What Hall of Famer did he get rid of a year early? You know who did that stuff? Seifert. Seifert traded Joe Montana. Seifert got rid of Tom Rathman and Ronnie Lott. Seifert got rid of Charles Haley. So I don't know that Bill Walsh would have got rid of his best player who's not. I would have. I'm the asshole that would have traded George Kittle and gotten fired. I don't know that Bill would have. I'm just saying. You think Bill would have traded Jerry Rice because he's 35? I don't. I'm just saying he talked a big game. Bill Walsh. Great coach though. I don't care what anyone says. I think Bill Walsh was a great coach. Hot take. All right, here are my prize picks from the last week. Let's see who did well. Saturday, we got a win. This was me, Maj, and Brandon Deutsch. We got 4 of 6. We got Christian and Christian wrong. We thought Christian was going to do well. We got Judkins, Brock, Kittle. Easy. $8. This was Friday. That would have been Tyler LaRocca. Freaking lost. Thanks a lot, Tyler. All the Niners you got wrong. but you got the Browns right. Not bad. Not great. Thursday, Tom Walsh. If you've been watching Walsh's playbook, you know he gets these. He's freaking good. He can predict score. He can predict stat lines, apparently. He got 5 of 6 right. A couple weeks ago, he got 6 of 6 right. Only one he got wrong was Brock. Thought Brock was going to throw a pick. Shout out to Brock. I would have won heck of money, but it's because Brock was smart. Only won $40. So shout out to Brock for taking money out of my pocket. Then we got, was this one Larry? Yeah, he got those wrong. Sorry, Larry. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, it's the free 2-play streak. But I got that one right. See, because I said that this dude, Jacob Jesus, would have more than 93.5 receiving yards for Cal, and he had 97. Yeah, in your face. I told you, and you didn't believe me. So now I get to do it again because I'm on a streak. Let's play now. RJ Harvey, Bo Nix, Chris Moore, Luka Doncic, Anthony. What? All right, man, let's keep it football. Bo Nix, 225.5 passing yards. Do I like that? I kind of do. They're not gonna against the Commanders? Sure, why not? I think. Oh God. 295 against Kansas City, but then oof. Bo. I'm gonna say more for Bo. Yeah, confirm. That's my pick. Boom. All right. I submitted it successfully. You could do the same. Download PrizePicks. Use promo code COHN as Cohn, my last name. Play $5 and get $50 in lineups instantly when you use that promo code. Download it. It's available in 45 states, including California and Texas. Yeah. Well, look, you can see I'm in Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I had a good time. I haven't been here in 10 years. Last time I was here, Jim Tom Sula was the coach. Blaine Gabbert was the quarterback, and they lost to Johnny Manziel. That's truth. I was there for that game. It was one of the most incredible games I ever covered. I thought the Niners were going to win, but no, they lost to Johnny Manziel. This time, now I'm a mega YouTube star. You know what I mean? I'm walking around Cleveland. Everyone's recognizing me, trying to take pictures of me. Oh my God, great. It's great, cool. I'm like just trying to be normal. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much can change in 10 years. But I like Cleveland. There are a few like Midwest cities that I find very charming that some people don't. Obviously, Pittsburgh is great. Everyone loves Pittsburgh. I also like Cleveland and Detroit. Chicago's phenomenal. But Cleveland and Detroit, they both have downtown stadiums. They both have good food. They both have walkable downtowns. It's too cold. It's really cold here. But it's on a lake. A lake is pretty. You know, Detroit's got water. I like those cities. I have a good time. Only thing with those cities, and it's Houston too. I come on weekends, and it seems like people work downtown in Cleveland, and they work downtown in Detroit, and they work downtown in Houston, but they don't really live there. And so when I'm here on a Saturday and I'm walking around, most things are closed. A lot of things are closed. You can find a good restaurant at night if you know where to look, but like the whole infrastructure of the downtown usually shuts down on the weekend, and that's not fun. But what are you going to do? I mean, if people don't want to live here, you don't even want to live there. I bet you St. Louis is like that too. Oakland used to be like that. People would work downtown, but no one really wanted to live downtown. I would live downtown in Oakland, but that's just me. I'm crazy. I went to Johnny's Bar last night. It's not in downtown. I took a 10-minute Uber. It was phenomenal. I got soft shell crab. I got a big veal shank. Delicious. Couldn't recommend it enough. Now I would go back tonight, but it's closed. Closing a Sunday, closing a Monday. So I'm saying about Cleveland, man. These places close. It's crazy. But I would recommend it. Now, in a few weeks, Indianapolis. I was there earlier this year. I don't like Indianapolis. I don't like it. No water, middle of nowhere. It's like Cincinnati. Although Cincinnati has a river. I like a good river. But what else does Cincinnati have? Chili that's awful. The worst chili you've ever had, and they put it on spaghetti. Cleveland doesn't do that shit. And you know what? Cleveland has a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have this whole like rock and roll theme. The dude who did the national anthem today was like a 13-year-old kid, did it on a guitar. How cool is that? Only in Cleveland. And let me tell you something. So I like to rate stadiums. And I have my own grading system. Maybe yours is different. Owners seem to disagree with me. But 3 things I look for in an NFL stadium. Is it downtown? Is it outdoors? Meaning no ceiling, no roof. Is there grass? Those are my 3 criteria. If the answer to all 3 is yes, I like the stadium. Look at this place. It's right downtown. It's on Lake Erie, which is really beautiful. It's outdoors. There's grass. It's an A+ stadium. A+ stadium. That's everything you want. Oh, it gets cold? Oh, the weather's an issue late. Great. That's football. Love that. Oh, as a sports writer for the weekend, I get to fly in, stay downtown, walk around, walk to the game. I love that. Now I get a feel for the city. Fans get a feel for the city. It's great for everyone. It's great for Cleveland. So what's Cleveland going to do? Knock it down, build a dome by the airport in the suburbs with turf. And they're going to spend like $3 billion on it. Why? That shit's going to suck. It's going to fucking suck. You're going to put it near the airport? Why? So that people who come into town don't go to your shops and I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The Rams did the same shit. Like the Rams, actually, I like their setup. LA Coliseum is downtown LA, is outdoors, there's grass. There's a lot of seats. That's a cool stadium. It's iconic. It's cool. You moved to Inglewood because that's where LAX is. You built a dome. There's some open air, but there's a freaking ceiling, a roof, and there's turf. F. You failed. Seattle has a really good one, but they should have grass. I don't want to hear any fucking excuses like, oh, well, we have a soccer team that plays here too. I don't care. Look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is cold as shit. Outdoors, grass. They have the University of Pittsburgh playing there on Saturdays. They don't care. They somehow have that field ready for the Steelers on Sundays. They don't make excuses. That is the gold standard. I love whatever they call that stadium. It used to be Heinz Field. I don't know what they call it anymore. I love that stadium. It's the best. Lambeau is the best for obvious reasons. This one is great, and they're going to mess it up. The one in Buffalo is pretty good, but it's not in downtown Buffalo, and it has turf. And they're getting rid of that and building a dome. Stupid. I mean, Levi's would actually be great if it were in San Francisco. Right? If it were in even if it weren't downtown, if it were at Hunters Point, same exact model, that'd be pretty solid. But you put it in Santa Clara, F. They should move back to Kezar. Now they probably have to, renovate it and put like another 50,000 seats and do it. You know how cool that would be? Now it'd be tough to like get a crowd in there, but you can figure that out. You should put it back in Kezar. The Rams should go back to LA Coliseum or the Rose Bowl. I like Soldier Field. Outdoors, on the water, on Lake Michigan, grass. So, of course, they're going to move to the suburbs and build a dome, right? I like the new place in Minneapolis is downtown, but it's a dome with turf. That's how I feel. That's how and of course, I understand you're going to build this place. You want to have a dome because if you don't, and you're in a cold weather city, you're not going to ever be in the Super Bowl rotation. And if you have a dome, then you can sort of like have, what is the word I'm looking? Concerts and shit. But for football, $2-3 billion stadium with turf sucks. And I really wish the Players Association would do something about it and put it to an end. This is a terrible, terrible trend. Every new stadium should have grass somehow, some way. I mean, the Raiders figured it out, right? Like they have a dome that sucks, but you understand because it's Vegas. Although it should be a retractable roof. Let's put it that way. It should be a retractable roof. If there's a retractable roof, I'll let the dome slide. If there's grass. Arizona has a retractable roof and grass. Only problem is Glendale sucks. It's not Phoenix. They should have put that shit in Phoenix. Miami's not in downtown. Philly's not downtown. Usually the Midwest cities have the downtown stadium because they're so proud of their football team. The coast, we're always trying to like put it where you least expect it or near the freaking airport. Okay, I'm done. You guys didn't care about any of that. I'm so sorry. First win in Cleveland since before we were born. Yeah, 1985. I was not born there. Vito Burrito. Richard Evangelista says, just don't drink the water. In Cleveland? I've been drinking the water. How come no one told me that? How come no one told me that? I'm going to die because no one told me that. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you watching me. If you're a Purdy fan, enjoy the day, man. Enjoy the next 2 weeks because who knows? Against Tennessee in 2 weeks, he could throw 3 picks. He's prone. But for now, stock up. Niners are 9-4. Looking at 10-4. Go enjoy your week off. Whatever you're going to do, I will. But I'll still be streaming and stuff. You know how I don't really take days off, but I'll be at home nursing my freaking hernia. Did you guys know that hernias are very painful? And I hate them. So think about me when you don't have one. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be in Cleveland all day tomorrow, flying back Tuesday. Because I can't get enough of this city, man. Oh, also, I didn't bring a jacket. It feels like 16 degrees outside, and I have a sweater and this because I'm stupid. Like all week, I'm talking about, hey man, it's gonna snow over there. Niners better be prepared. Guess who wasn't prepared? Me. I'm almost 38 years old, and I forgot a fucking jacket. I was in the elevator. Corey Rush, the Niners PR director, was like, dude, where's your jacket? Like legitimately concerned. And I'm like, I forgot. And the guy operating the elevator was like, you're going to die. And I laughed and I was like, nah, maybe I'll get lucky. He's like, nah, it's not a question of luck. So people are concerned about my well-being. I got an Uber. Like I'm staying right next. I don't want to tell you where I'm staying because it's stalkers. I'm staying right next to the stadium. Like I could walk home to my room in 10 minutes, but it's cold as fuck. And I don't have a beanie, a jacket, gloves. So, you know me, I called an Uber to take me half a mile. The fuck you talking about? So I get in the Uber. He takes my money, drives me down the street, makes one turn, and stops. Drove 2 blocks, $10. He's like, all right, as far as I can go. I was like, could you take me a little closer to the stadium? He was like, nah, all the streets are blocked off. So I walked out and I walked in like half an hour with no beanie, looking like an idiot. And when that cold hits you and your ears get real cold, like your adrenaline ratchets up very quickly. And you start looking around because it's like survival time. You start looking around, you notice everyone else has a little hoodie on or a beanie. If I almost got hypothermia, I would have taken someone's beanie. I don't care. It's life and death, man. It's me against you. Give me that beanie. But I didn't take anyone's beanie because, that's disrespectful and uncouth. And I like to maintain couth at all times, even if I'm freezing. So look, in a few weeks, I'm going to Indianapolis. I'm gonna bring stuff so I don't die. I need to go to Carhartt and just buy hella stuff. I like Carhartt. I like Levi's. I like American companies. Nick Wagner was wearing a Lacoste beanie today. That's French. I like it. But after the game, Kittle went up to him and was like, Lacoste? I thought you were more of a Carhartt guy. Yeah, like what? The French, I mean, did we forget what they did in World War II? I'm just saying. Do we forget? We had to bail them out. So why would you wear actually, Lacoste is kind of nice. I think his girlfriend got it for him. So if your girlfriend gets it for you, you got to wear it. But maybe I'll take Nick to Carhartt with me. If you see me in Carhartt, leave me alone. I'm a normal person. I just want some. It's so hard being me. Everyone wants a piece of me, man. Men, women. Pause. I'm poor says call-in show this upcoming week. How about that? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I will let you know beforehand so you guys can make time. I know it's rough when I just plop it in the middle of a work day, not ready for it. I'll let you know. Guys, thanks for watching. Go Niners. Go Brock Purdy. Woo!